all you're doing is you're giving more information for people to pick stuff apart and pick holes and go, oh, this bit and that bit and that bit. You're giving them like a smorgasbord of stuff to attack.
My quote friends too, who I have stood by all these years, who can't find their spine. I don't need any fair weather friends. I probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anisa more than anybody. I vouch for their character. I'm not saying that they're not the good, nice, fine people that I thought they were, but I'll say this, I don't think they're any friends of mine.
I'm very perturbed and bored. And bored of the fucking endless Hassan, Ethan, forever retard war, okay? Now, with that being said, I did miss one thing, and I'm still off the Ethan Hassan shit. I'm not fucking endlessly talking about their fucking backwards and forwards unless one of them kills the other, right? I'm not going to talk about it anymore. That being said, I did miss one thing that I think is worth coverage because it kind of connects to another drama as well. Idubbbz is apparently involved. Now, Hassan may get mentioned in this because obviously Ethan, I don't think, could go 5 minutes without talking about Hassan. But I think this is kind of a different angle. It's tangentially related, but it's a bit different. So hopefully it's interesting. We will see. We will see what we think of this. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's not all about, Hassan Piker and Twitch, and it is actually going to be a little bit different, okay? But nonetheless, we're going to give it a go. So, the long story short is Ethan got into some sort of beef or some sort of drama with an editor from Creator Clash that works with Idubbbz. So, let's have a little look, and we'll see what it's all about and see if it's entertaining. Hopefully it is.
So pardon me while I burst.
So this guy, Froggy Tonic, who is a previous editor and friend of Anisa and Idubbbz, who also, Anisa was interacting with him as far as like the same day, talking to him on Twitter. So she's at least on.
So I think that, like, this guy is his own man. I mean, obviously he can say what he wants and have his own perspectives on things. I'm not sure how meaningfully connected he is to Idubbbz, but I do know that Ethan has been good to Idubbbz. I think I'm pretty sure that he's been more favorable towards him as he's moved away from the edgelord stuff, and I think he's had him on the show and spoken to him and helped him out. So, I think that, yeah, that's fair enough. You can have a problem with Idubbbz, but this guy's just his editor. I mean, I don't really know how relevant Idubbbz is in this particularly, but obviously Ethan brings him up. So we'll see. We'll see if there's any sort of meaningful connection there and see what we think.
Friendly terms with them. That being said, my criticism is obviously of him. Although I'll be on... Okay, whatever. I'm not going to get into that right now. He said a lot of shit previously, the day before. What was it? Wasn't there... Somebody posted an album, all the crazy shit he's been going on about.
I think he was saying he used to be a fan of yours, and he defended you until a certain point. I forgot.
He's like a deep... It seems like he's a deep-level snarker. But here's the caliber of tweets that this guy's putting out that is supposedly on my friend's feed, who are afterwards willing to still engage in friendly conversation with him. Just learned 2 years before Ethan's dog's death, some H3 fans...
Yeah, my concern here is that we're getting to a bit of guilt by association. So I don't know, I don't really like the idea that well, how responsible is Idubbbz for this sentiment? Because they work together. I don't know if they still work together or not even. But it's this is his perspective. I think that Idubbbz hasn't really commented on this, I guess, maybe. Maybe that's something. He tweeted this out. Okay. I know what clip that is. What? Honestly, you kind of never... You never expect to see yourself. You never expect to see yourself. And then there you are. Anyway, it's just kind of, wait, what am I doing in this? Well, I'm not involved in this. You can even see me say it, look. Okay, anyway. Creator Clash 3 needs a headline fight. Here are the options. Ethan Klein versus Hassan Piker. Hassan Arby versus H3 Productions. Vape Naish versus Hank Pecker. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I can see a criticism for Idubbbz here. He's doing this like, I mean, this tweet says it correctly. Playing it safe as always, huh, Mr. Joma? Like, he's trying to use humor and a joke to not, like, meaningfully weigh in or talk about what is obviously, like, a very public and ongoing spat. So, I don't know. It's like, does he have to give a comment? Does he have to weigh in? No, I don't think anyone has, you know, a reasonable expectation that they've got to talk about something. But then just don't say anything about it. This just comes across as a bit, like, a bit cowardly, I guess. Like, you're kind of referencing it, but you're not really weighing in. You're not giving a take. You're not giving a perspective. You're doing it in what is like quite a safe fashion. Because this is one of those situations where you can't just take a hard stance. Because there isn't, like, it's like the hardline lefties obviously are siding with Hassan, and the more center-left, like, progressive types, softer progressive types are siding with Ethan. And I think Idubbbz is wanting to, like, get into both of those communities and sell his kind of material, so to speak, into those communities. So he's obviously, like, not wanting to weigh in because he doesn't want to upset anyone. So this is his way of talking about it without talking about it, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, that's
and that comes
wonderful.
across as quite pathetic, really, I would say.
Screw
yeah,
Ethan.
okay.
Let me box Hassan Piker.
I see the criticism. I think that that's a reasonable kind of concept of, like, come on, dude, like, you know, what, like, you've done videos recently where you've heavily weighed in on, like, a political topic, but now you just want to play both sides on it. Like, give a take, say something. What do you think about what's going on? You know? Like, you obviously know what's happening to tweet this out, so why aren't you speaking on it in any way beyond just a little stupid tweet? And someone in chat mentioned this, and I think this may well be true. I believe he may have actually posted about it in his Discord. So if someone has got that, that would be interesting to see. But he may well have posted about it in his Discord. Lemon Character and Baby Lemon blowing a party horn while marching. Thank you for the £5. Appreciate it. Yeah, his wife hasn't given him permission to talk about it, probably.
And voiced concern for his chronic vomiting, pointing to kidney failure, got shunned by other fans. Ethan declined the advice, stayed course, cheese as treats. Fast forward, dog dies.
Did I read this? Lemon Character and Baby Lemon blowing a party horn while marching. Thank you for the £5.
Kidney failure at 6 years old, lifespan 13 years. He also says, so now, how can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids, when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Little homie even ingested pills left on the floor. Like, come on, man. And someone else responded, then he gets a super cringe tattoo commemorating the torturous, agonizing death. This has been one of the main talking points that's been going on in Snark is just, you know, they have no limit.
Sniff Hakem Hassan
Yeah.
sniff. Hassan bad sniff sniff sniff. Snarkers bad sniff sniff sniff.
There is a lot of sniffing.
Clancy sniff.
The sniffing is kind of, like, ridiculous, right? Like, what? I don't know. Anyway.
They just go for whatever they presume is the most painful. And obviously blaming me for killing my beloved pet. And then extrapolating meaning to somehow say I'm abusing my kids. There's actually no limit to their cruelty. And I listen, I've been dealing with this shit for like 2 years at this point. The part that got to me about this is just like, this is apparently someone who's like a professional career as an editor, who's worked with my friends on the previous Creator Clash, edited everything for them, who they still interact friendly with. And that just fucking breaks my heart. It does.
Okay. Also, I think the other thing as well is like this editor is pushing some snark conspiracy. It's not like he's being honest or truthful about something. It's not like he's stated, you know, he is like just saying some crazy narrative about Ethan. I still don't like the guilt by association. I'm not sure what connection Idubbbz has got. I think I don't agree with that part of it. I just think that on its face, pushing some stupid snark narrative is the part that is like bad about this, you know? Also, what's the kids thing? Sorry, one
like
sec.
Sorry. Bothered to protect their dogs.
Okay. I missed that part, dude. There's a lot going on, okay? So now, how can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids where they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Okay. Right. So, wait, so this guy's saying that there's concerns about Ethan looking after his kids. Is that true? Am I understanding that correctly? Is that right? They're strongly suggesting that there's some sort of abuse of the kids happening. Okay. They're being quite vague, but I think the implication is clear, right? Like, you know, if you're not going to look after your dogs, how can you look after your kids, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, no. I think that's it. I think I get it. Yeah. I get it now. I get it. I think I get it. So it's like, it's not guilt by association. It's that this guy's saying this, and he's saying deranged stuff, and you look to like Idubbbz, and Idubbbz is like middle of the road posting about it, you know, not even like meaningfully commenting on it. And it's like, bro, you know, you're not going to give a take, you know, you're not going to say anything, you're not going to weigh in on this. I think the fact, if Idubbbz had given a more substantive statement about it, maybe this wouldn't be a problem then. Okay. I think I see it. Yeah. If a bunch of freaks said this about you, would you come on stream and complain about it? I mean, yeah, sure, I talk about it, yeah. I mean, dude, I don't think it's a problem to speak on this, necessarily. I mean, obviously, Ethan could just ignore it, you know. This is a pretty strong thing, though, to like act like you're neglecting your kids because of something to do with your dog that isn't even true, and apparently, and it's some snark narrative. Yeah, exactly. You could just say, you know, like just leave a comment and say, leave the kid out of it. Leave the kids out of it. Talk your shit. That's up to you. I can't control you there. But bringing the kids into it is like unreasonable or something. That's just a shitty thing to do. Something like that, maybe. You know, it doesn't even need to be a strong statement weighing in on the beef between the two of them.
Little homie even ingested pills left on the floor. Like, come on, man. And someone else responded. And then extrapolating meaning to somehow say I'm abusing my kids. There's actually no limit to their cruelty. And I listen, I've been dealing with this shit for like 2 years at this point. The part that got to me about this is just like, this is apparently someone who's like a professional career as an editor, who's worked with my friends on the previous Creator Clash, edited everything for them, who they still interact friendly with. And that just fucking breaks my heart. It does. As a human being, let me read what I said. These evil fucking C words are working around the clock. This former editor for Idubbbz said this. I took Shredder to the doctor many times over the years. I told him repeatedly about Shredder's frequent puking. He always told me it was normal for his breed. I told him about his odd bad breath. The doctor kept telling me he was fine. I am so fucking pissed at that veterinarian. I literally took Shredder to the doctor like, it feels like 5 to 8 times that year leading up to that. And they kept telling me he was fucking fine, and it drives me fuck.
Ethan and Idubbbz are actually close friends. Well, I don't know if they're like close friends, but I do think that Ethan has done like I don't know, like he's been on his show. Yeah, I don't know if they're close friends, but there's definitely some connection there, right? I mean, he's been on his show. I think he's been supportive of him and his arc away from the edgy past thing, more so than other people. I think he's been defensive of Idubbbz.
Fucking angry. Because as I read about it more, I never suspected he had kidney problems. And when I started reading about it afterwards, it was like bad breath, nausea, not eating. These are all signs. And this is like exactly what I was telling the fucking vet about. The doctor never ordered blood testing, although we did some probably a year before and he was fine. Even
I mean, also, like, dude, like, come on, bro. This is, like, absurd. I mean, this paragraph posting is just ridiculous. I don't think he needs to ignore this. I think he can comment on this and speak on this. This is, like, absurd. This is, like, way too much text. This is, like, a fucking lefty meme. So I just don't think you need to go to this much detail, you know. Just like, I don't know, these people are deranged posting long debunked narratives about me looking after my pets and saying absolutely, you know, disgusting things about my kids or something like that. Right, it's too much. It's too much fucking text. You need to fucking... Brevity is the soul of wit, okay? Do you know, I actually... This is the problem, I think, with the Ethan Klein stuff for me, right? And I experienced this the other day. I'm not, like, completely 100% on the Ethan Klein train. Like, I have been critical of things he's done that I think are wrong. I think the problem is that, you know, I can say, like, this is spurgy, this is excessive, like, he's obviously emotional typing this out, something like that. But the snark, it's the fact that the snarker subreddit and the fucking narratives about the snark shit just takes it to this extreme that I just don't agree with. It's like when he brought that person's Instagram account up on screen the other day. You know, was that a completely unnecessary and excessive, you know, behavior? Yes. Should he have done it? No. Is it doxing? No. I don't think that's what doxing is. You know, I don't think doxing is bringing up someone's public Instagram profile and talking about it. Even if I think it's really shitty behavior that he shouldn't have participated in. And this is the problem, is it takes you to this insane place where it's like, oh, you've got to call it the worst possible thing. Classic fucking lefty logic. You must call it the worst thing or you're sweeping. And it's like, no. It's fine to be critical and it's fine to point out your disagreements and issues with someone. But there's this group of people that want to take it from what could be a reasonable criticism to this absolutely deranged and absurd fantasy land where it's being described in the most extreme terminology from people that are total ideologues that would not grant graciousness in the other direction or be honest or fair to the other side, you know? And it's like, well, fuck those people. You know, these people are deranged. These people are fucking retarded as well. You can offer a criticism without going to that level. But then, even if you offer a criticism, people have a problem with that because it's not to the level that they want you to issue it. And it's just like, creates a very
that's
difficult situation. But I mean, this is just insane and excessive,
How the
obviously.
posted there doesn't get the subreddit banned baffles me.
Thank you for the super chats. And I think this is what I've spoken about of Ethan's kind of like, you know, he just needs to learn. Or, well, he's not going to learn, obviously. He needs people around him to just say, hey, like, you know, it's fine to respond to this. Like, this is someone that, you know, you think is worthy of a response, fine. But the excessiveness here, like, why are you fucking battering out a whole fucking block of text that most people aren't even going to fucking read? Like, just fucking Keep it short and sweet and move on, you know? Talk about it on the show, fine. But I mean, this image of him just there facing this wall of text is like, you know, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look particularly great. You know, you're not coming across as very strong in addressing and talking about this situation.
Day before Shredder's diagnosis, I told my mom to bring him to the vet because he seemed off. I was on a vacation with the kids and Hila's mom at the time in San Diego. And even then, when my mom took him to the vet, he took his vital signs and he said he looked fine. The very next day, Shredder was puking out his meals. So my mom thinks he should be overly...
Funnily enough, I think the more you type about something like this, the guiltier that you can look to neutral parties, you know? Because I'm looking at this, and I don't think he's done anything wrong here, but it's like, well, why is he, like... A long debunked narrative is still being pushed by these snarky freaks, whatever. That's fine. This is just like, why are you fucking typing so much about this, bro? It's too much. Why? What's going on?
Concerned. Took him back the next day, insisted they do a blood test. Next day after that, we got a call saying Shredder had stage 4 kidney failure and needed to go to the hospital or to get his kidneys flushed or he would die. He spent the next 3 days in the hospital, and while we got his values to go down, damage was already done. And over the next 6 months, his kidney continued to give out.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just pick holes in it anyway. Yeah, dude, that's such a good point, actually. All you're doing is you're giving more information for people to pick stuff apart and pick holes and go, oh, this bit and that bit and that bit. You're giving them like a fucking smorgasbord of stuff to attack rather than keeping it limited and keeping it as like a long debunked narrative, right? And that hopefully should be enough. I don't think this is going to convince anyone that isn't convinced already. And I think it's only going to be able to be used to, you know, attack you further.
It was one of the most painful, traumatic experiences of my entire life. I love that dog, as all of you guys know, with my heart and soul. And I would have done anything for him. I would have given him a kidney if I could. Using this as some kind of psychotic own to impugn my character is just cruel, pathetic on levels most humans aren't capable of. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Bro, you've got the kid stuff there, which I think is so strong to go at too. Look at this deranged freak insinuating I'm abusing my own children off the back of some debunked snark narrative. That's a really strong response to this, I think. And I think it hits a lot harder than all of this.
Fuck my, quote, friends, too, who I have stood by all these years, who can't find their spine. I don't need any fair weather friends. And that's all I'll say about that.
Oh.
Listen, it's all nice and good to reach out and say like, hey, just so you know, he doesn't work for us anymore. And I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And openly communicating with somebody who's actively saying this shit. And by the way, all the people that openly defend these people, this is all snark information. This is all shit that is on snark, and this is the shit that they talk about every day. This isn't just appear out of the ether. People like Adam McIntyre, people like Hustle.
Ethan is barely keeping up with all those freaks, Lamau. He's going to collapse any day now. Well, yeah, this is the problem, and this is why you've got to just ignore a lot of this shit, as hard as it is, because there's like an endless horde of people that will just come and try and shit on you and fuck with you, and you're just taking on too much. You're fighting on too many fronts to be able to like deal with this and handle this. You know, you got to pick your battles, and I think you've got to specifically talk about and go after people that are like you got a very strong case against, and do it in a very specific, targeted way. I think it's the best way to try and handle this. I mean, to be fair, there's obviously a lot. Like, I think Ethan is, you know, cracking under the pressure. I think he is obviously struggling under the weight of all these fucking people that are coming at him. And then mistakes are kind of inevitable as a result of that.
On. People like all these fucking journalists, Mike from PA, all these people, they are fucking co-signing. They are participating and they are reading this type of deranged, inhuman cruelty. And all pretending like this is normal and it's okay and I'm crazy. There are journalists participating in the active gaslighting of me to imply that I'm the fucking crazy one. All this fucking bullshit because I hate Hamas, hate terrorists, and think a two-state solution is the best option in the interim. Imagine being a privileged American college student whose greatest hardship is missing their dinner meal plan, who has never known danger, telling my wife, who lived through the second Intifada, anything about this conflict. You are a fucking tourist and you don't know shit. Fuck you. And if you think being cruel will stop me, it won't. I promise you that. And then the thing is, like, I'm reading this because, like, at this point I feel the need to defend myself, that I didn't fucking like intentionally and maliciously kill my dog.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. People in chat were pointing this out, that they just assumed that he'd killed his dog. And maybe this information isn't meaningfully out there in any format where people can consume it, and this is a way of doing it. I still just think it's too much text. I mean, my eyes glaze over just looking at this amount of text in front of me. You know. But you could probably edit this down still, if you wanted to make it clear. And then, yeah, dude, the other problem, dude, oh my god. The other problem with this too is, yes, people are fucking deranged on the internet, okay? I think speaking about it like this on a stream is great. Okay, just to clear it up, guys. This is what happened with the dog, because I keep getting this from these fucking freaks, and now they're trying to attack my kids. It's fucking insane. Here's the story of the dog. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Done. Something like that would probably be a better way of handling this, I would say. Like, this comes across as emotionally hammering out a message, you know, upon seeing this and whatnot.
Like, dude. Now he's saying that little homie even ingested pills.
Why is employees not helping out with this? I mean, I don't know, bro. The problem is I don't know what's going on. I would have hoped they might interject and interact a little bit.
Off depressed people.
Weird he had no issue getting a second opinion from a doctor but not from a vet.
Thank you for the super chat. It's like it sounds like the guy like freaking out and all of his friends are just silent in absolute shock at like how crazy they're being. It's like, say something, back him up a bit if you want to back him up. He's just kind of there. And it's like everyone is just silent in the studio. And obviously this thing gets jumped on by the snarkers, who will then post these narratives about how everyone on the crew hates him and they should all just leave. So, yeah, I think that it doesn't come across great when you're making points and then normally they're bouncing off and stuff like that. He may have requested that. Yeah, sure. But then, sure, maybe he requested it. If so, I just think you want to have people chipping in a bit, just so it doesn't look like you're there just saying your piece while all your friends are around you are like, what? And that's what it looks like, you know? So I think it would look better if there was a bit of chipping in here. You know, oh God, I can't believe they're talking about your kids again. That's fucked up or whatever, you know?
Pills left on the floor. Like, come on, man. I told this story. When Shredder was about 1 or 2, a guest at our house accidentally dropped an Adderall pill wrapped in plastic on the floor. Shredder picked it up and was tearing at the plastic. Once I realized what he was chewing on, I rushed him to the hospital where they pumped his stomach. I once in the show wondered if this horrible accident could have damaged his kidney. Leave it to these evil, obsessive freaks to turn that into another talking point. Fuck anyone that openly assaults with these freaks, who shouts out the snark subreddit, who uncritically accepts any of this vile poison without question. I will never forgive. I will never forget any of you participated in this.
I mean, what that sounds like is he's kind of ruminating on having a guilty conscience about, you know, an accident, which can happen. I mean, dude, dogs will fucking eat stuff. Like, if something lands on the floor, a dog is going to gobble that up, right? So I think that it's to me it's unreasonable that you would think that that's Ethan's fault, because a dog will just naturally go and eat something that's on the floor, including their own shit, by the way. And so this here wondered if this horrible accident is down his kidney. That was him like ruminating or thinking or feeling guilty about it on a stream and saying it. And then that gets twisted up in some narrative that he is then responsible for, you know, his dog coming to harm. When he was probably just thinking like, I wonder if that might have actually contributed to it, when it probably didn't. It's unlikely that it contributed to it. But it's like you think, well, maybe that was a reason. Maybe the reason this happened is because of that.
When people like Adam fucking McIntyre in a year from now try to like be like friendly and pretend like not like, bro, you are such a sick, fucked up dude for just going along with this stuff. And let me tell you this.
Ethan's mental decline is so visible across your coverage, Chud. Just compare his behavior with how he was just a few months ago. Yeah, I've said that, you know, him moving on and pushing forward would have been the best move for him. But he's you know, unfortunately continuously focusing and talking about. I think some of it's fine. There's some crazy stuff that's said. Addressing some of it is fine. But it's like, you know, this is bleak. This is a bleak watch compared to like how he was going at it earlier. He's always been like this. Yeah, but at the start of a drama like this, I feel like he's a bit more together, and he's a bit more like with it, and he's like got his shit together, and he's, you know, making his points and being funny and being comedic about it. Yeah, I think that's the point that's being made, and I agree. It's like, yeah, it's like, bro, it's like, God, this is fucking. Oh, this is a bit bleak. Always backslides. Yeah, sure. Like when he's on the attack, he could be very funny and cutting in how he goes at people. But this defensive response to stuff like this, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look as good. It doesn't come across as strong. Like, he just doesn't look strong. He doesn't look as strong as he did when he was first entering this drama, you know? And I think this is a product. It's twofold, really. You know. God, I Wrestle Weebs is honestly one of the most, like, obnoxious, sides-cucked retards you could imagine, right? Is he not supposed to be angry at these freaks lying about him daily, right? I'm saying you can be angry. I'm saying he's dealing with it and handling it badly, okay? I think you could be the biggest fan of the fucking H3 podcast, right? As you want, and you can still recognize that he's not handling this well. He's not dealing with this well. He's making mistakes. He's fucking up. And stuff like this, taken in its totality, is a mistake, and he could probably handle and deal with this better.
As someone who's been on the receiving end of harassment on the internet, you'd think that you would be more empathetic for it instead of actively fucking jumping on a bandwagon to say shit actively like this. And it goes...
Yeah, dude, the other thing I was going to say as well is I'm sympathetic. I'm not sat here, like, being harsh about it. I'm like, God, I get it. Like, you know, it's difficult because he has been the recipient of a bunch of fucking insane shit. Right? I think that's a reasonable kind of view on this. And I think that the other thing that he's finding frustrating is he's got these supposed friends who he thought would be on his side in this, and they're just nowhere to be seen, and they're nowhere to be found. You know, Philip DeFranco is kind of, you know, not standing on business on this. You know, he is like somewhat cucking to his audience on this stuff. You've got Idubbbz, who isn't commenting, middle of the roading it, not commented on this, right?
To say Gaza is Zaza and he'd win.
Thank you for the super chats. So it's like he's kind of up against it, struggling against all this shit that he's getting, and all of his people that he thought of his friends are just like, you know, spineless jellyfish that don't want to stand on anything. And so they don't side with Hassan necessarily, but he's expecting people to maybe be a bit more on his side or at least speak up for him. And they don't. They just don't say anything. And now you got a situation where this guy's going fucking hell for leather, saying crazy snark shit. Whilst Idubbbz isn't responsible for that, Idubbbz is like doing the same thing as Philip DeFranco. He's not taking a stance on it. and he's just kind of middle of the roading it. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if they fought with Creator Clash, guys? Haha, means I don't have to pick a side, I guess. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? So I am sympathetic. I'm not saying this out of like a sort of, you know, I just want to shit on Ethan situation. It's just, I think he's under a lot of strain, under a lot of pressure. He's not getting support from people that he thought he'd get support from, which is obviously having an impact. And it's the consequence of that is that he's acting and behaving in ways that are kind of optically disastrous. And there's some bad behavior that he's engaged in, like fucking spurging out over that Instagram account for saying, go to hell over the tattoo thing. You know, it's like, there's just mistakes. And they seem to be ratcheting up. And I think when I was first covering this, it was like he was kind of hitting very strongly. His batting average was very high. Boom, 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 boom. Right? It's JN. Jewish neurosis. Is that what that means? Is that what you're talking about? But as time has gone on, you know, he's a bit like Ukraine. He's a little bit like Ukraine. Bro, he's a little bit like Ukraine, okay? He's expecting support from his key allies and he's not getting it, right? As he's getting fucking battered about the place and he's starting to crack under the pressure, right? Idubbbz not speaking out on his behalf was his Trump-Zelensky-Vance meeting, okay? That is what's going on here.
Goes on to, in this snark video, to go on even further to show stuff that Adam said, like talking about how I'm trying to silence their criticism. It's just fucking cruel, dude. Like, it's just cruel, man. Like, is that what it's for, clout? You just wanted to get some clouts from some psychos online, and so you turn into like this absolutely cruel fucking mean girl? And like, by the way, good luck with these fans. They're really fucking well-adjusted and super supportive. When you say one thing they don't like, guess who they're coming for next, Adam? And
Oh, that rings a bell. That, guys. Oh, that rings a bell, doesn't it? I mean, wasn't there someone else who said this to someone? Dude. Let me see if I can, Who said that? Oh, God, I'm just to remind myself. Oh, what is this I found? What is this I found? What are you up to, Ethan? We had a good conversation. I enjoyed meeting you and talking with you. What have I said precisely that motivated your actions and your accusations? Deleting our discussion. An honest question. Finally, you might seriously consider providing me with the footage so I can post it, given that I agreed to appear on your show based on the agreement that there would in fact be a show. Also, I should warn you that those who engage in cancel culture generally live to regret it. I'm not going to come after you, except politely, in this Twitter stream, but the chickens will definitely come home to roost. You'll be dude, bro, it's just obscene how true this ended up being, you know? You will be held to a higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you. Has Ethan's commented on this? I feel like this is one of these moments where you'd hope that Ethan would go like, do you know what? I hate to admit it, but Jordan Peterson was right. He was right about the devouring thing. I've still got my problems with his politics. I still disagree with him. But I shouldn't have taken the conversation down. And I think that he made a good point, and I'm seeing the consequences of that now. He still says he was wrong. Yeah, I believe he did say something to that effect. Okay, well, I'm getting different responses. I don't know what's true of that, but it'd be nice to see if he did do it, you know? It'd be just a nice little recognition. He doesn't have to, like, give cover to his politics. He doesn't have to say he agrees with them now. He just has to say, yeah, he made a good point. And I didn't really think of it at the time, you know? But bro, he just said that. He literally just said what
Guess
Jordan
what?
Peterson said.
Good luck with these fans. They're really fucking well-adjusted and super supportive. When you say one thing they don't like, guess who they're coming for next, Adam? And guess who's not going to be crying any fucking tears or running to your defense, scumbag? I expected this kid to be more mature and more caring and more empathetic, considering what he's been through. And you know, and I'll say this too. You know, what a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him, and you don't have to say anything. But like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. And then it gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And by the way, we were all friends with Adam for a long time until he decided that, like, he could get some clout by being a total fucking psychopath. And
he's talking about Adam. I thought he was still talking about this other guy. He's talking about Adam. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Well, I'm not... Well, wait a second. Okay. I don't think... Bro, this is what I mean. Dude, it literally just happened, the thing I was talking about earlier. Okay? Right? I don't think he's saying, back me up. He's making it clear that he's defending Olivia. Oh my God. Bro, I just got this alert on my phone. BBC News. Donald Trump says he's strongly considering large-scale sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and peace agreement is reached. What? He writes, based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and, in all caps, final settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it's too late, thank you. Bro, that is insane. Dude, this is what I always hear about Trump. He literally will just change position on something days later and just flip completely. I mean, if that happens, good. That's a good thing. But fuck me, dude. It's like a literal, 180. That's just what he does. You say one thing one day. He says one thing one day, then days later says something completely different. Dude, I don't know, bro. Fucking pure chaos. Pure chaos, international geopolitics and diplomacy from America. Great to see.
Participate in snark. Like, what a shitty friend. What a little freak, dude. It's just pathetic. So yeah, he's accused me of leaving pills on the floor. And yeah, so I'm feeling at a point to defend myself against... Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on Anisa's and Idubbbz's feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered for saying one goddamn fucking thing in our defense. Like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far because they have mobilized.
Okay. See, that to me is reasonable. That's a reasonable concern or criticism or issue. Okay. It's not that they're saying that Idubbbz has to 100% back Ethan or come out and speak 100% positively of Ethan. It's just, can you just say that maybe some of this is a bit much, right? I agree with that. Yeah, because obviously, that I think it's true that Ethan has been very favorable towards Idubbbz and Anisa to an extreme. I think this is fine. I agree with this. I think, yeah, it's. And the thing is, especially in the context of Idubbbz saying, oh, yeah, we should get Hassan and Ethan to fight a Creator Clash. Am I right, guys? It's like you're giving this soft as shit, middle of the road bullshit take on something. and this, and yeah, I completely agree with this criticism of Idubbbz. Absolutely.
Such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their life.
You could be diplomatic about it. It's not a take, though. What's the take? Okay. The dude, it's been a pleasure, but you are just an absolutely insufferable retard who says dumb things in a constant effort to try and one guy. What does that even mean? What's the take? The take is that Idubbbz should make some comment about this and not just middle of the road post about it. That's the take.
And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy. Like, dude, I probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anisa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them because I love those guys. I vouched for their character, and I stood by them 100%. And listen, I'm not saying that they're not the good, nice, fine people that I thought they were, but I'll say this: I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. That's what I'll say at this moment.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, obviously, I don't think that they have to give full-throated 100% support behind Ethan. They can disagree with some of his perspectives on how he's handled stuff or something like that. I think that saying they're not friends is completely reasonable. And just expecting them to say, this is too far, going after the dog is out of order, whatever. Totally reasonable. Bro, see, this is the thing. It's been a bit shaky getting here, right? But he's saying, all I want you to do is speak out against the absolute insane extremities of this. We're friends and you're not doing that. Right? That's completely fair. I think that's completely fair.
And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man. That's not what I need. How could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan is a...
Trump will say he misspoke to tariff Ukraine instead of Russia. Freudian slip since they will be the same country in 2 years.
Thank you for the super chats.
Hassan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies. Or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something. Hassan actually killed his fucking dog. You think that I would let that slide as much as I hate Hassan? You don't think I would say something? Somehow it's like admirable right now to just be like, yeah, that's true. I refuse to acknowledge any common human decency at all.
Dude, I'm actually not 100% on that. I don't know if he might not let a couple of memes slide. I don't know, dude. I'm not sure if I'm on board with that. I think he might be willing to let a couple of spicy ones slide through.
Ethan is the worst person that ever lived. He is evil in every conceivable way, and we must destroy him. Why? I really don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I am fed up with all this stuff, but this was like a new angle, and it is actually quite interesting.
This is Def getting to him, understandably so, but not good to air this out in so much detail. Emo. Starting to feel like a crash out.
Sure, yeah, I agree with that. Thank you for the $5.
But a lot of it comes from this whole snarking, this whole snarking thing, and yeah.
I just noticed you're covering Ethan again. Wow, that is very perceptive of you. Wow.
I want to at this point, I'm going to continue this video.
weren't deleted, nor were the users timed out or banned for spreading lies and hate by the H3 Snark moderators. Now, this doesn't mean that the live chat wasn't moderated. In fact, it was the opposite. The H3 Snark moderators encouraged this type of behavior and even promoted the user who said Dan hates women and gay people.
Okay, I mean, okay. Bro, I just don't understand. I hate this stuff where it's like some stupid comment and it's like, yeah, who cares about this, man? That's just funny. That's just fucking funny.
To an official moderator. Unsurprisingly, actions like this eventually snowballed to the live chat being impossible to manage, and what better way to show it to you than by showing an...
How ironic.
Also, yeah, what? Wait a second. Hang on a sec. Also, yeah, another point too. Am I supposed to hate Dan now? I mean, that just sounds fucking based. Yes, Dan.
Hassan allows his community and crew to have free speech. Ethan and H3 wouldn't understand that.
Who's exactly his crew? Who are they talking about? His dog? He allows his dog to speak or like whatever. What's his crew? Who does he have?
He doesn't really have a crew.
He doesn't. I don't know who he's talking about because his mods in there, by the way, ban anyone that mentions, for example, let's talk about his housekeeper. Try typing that in his chat. Type my name. Type content nuke. I don't know. They heavily moderate there. A lot more than we do. We just ban people out. I think we temp ban people for being dickheads, basically. That's about it. Not that I give a fuck even. I'm not out here being like, free speech in our chat for everybody. Say whatever you want. Stupid.
An H3 Snark moderator slowly descent into madness from trying to moderate a live chat of over 800 snarkers who are allowed to spread lies and harassment. The H3 Snark live chat feature would be closed in September because it turns out that it's a bad idea to hold a live chat where the sole purpose is to spread hate and harassment towards someone. Which brings up my next point.
This is what I said in my fucking original statement about how it's all a network of sock puppets, which the journalist brought up jokingly, almost to make me look like I'm insane. Like Ethan Klein, who's just
Sorry, now he's eating. Oh no.
a conspiracy theorist, think it's all a bunch of sock puppets. This fucking random dude pretty easily figured that one out, you fucking scumbag hacks.
However, I find it quite interesting that when it comes to the snark, we went straight to listen and agree to take
By claiming instead of eating, you
posted on the platform.
Palestine until the wheels fall off. Palestine until the wheels fall off. Oh my god, dude, that was such an annoying comment that put. Dude, this. I'm not going to weigh in on the politics, guys. As you wrap yourself in a fucking kifia, one of those fucking things. Palestine flag wrapped around you. No politics on this channel, guys. Not getting involved in the conflicts.
He's gone out of his way to like agitate the subreddit.
YouTuber Paige Christie defends the H3 Snark community by claiming that Ethan Klein should have just had a civil conversation with the H3 Snark mods instead of pursuing legal action. But the reason why Ethan had to take legal action is simple. You can't have an honest conversation with anyone. They aren't even real. Let me explain. The H3 Snark
Okay, dude. I am still undecided on this lawsuit. I need to see what the claims are before I can really determine what I think about it, obviously. Right? But it is obviously on the face of it an insane concept that you're going to file a lawsuit against like a subreddit for something. Right? In terms of, well, what exactly is it that you're going after there? We need to be more specific.
Okay,
I'm still open-minded about
how
that.
How do I make money off depressed people?
I don't like this idea that, oh, well, you know, you can't talk to them, so you should just file a lawsuit. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, it's obviously quite an extreme act. We'll need to see. I'm willing to give it a shot and see what the claims are, but, dude, I don't know, man. I'm sure all these people are total freaks, though.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, do you think Russian propaganda will lead to more Trump-like leaders?
Sure, probably. Probably in the UK we're going to see that, I'd imagine, at some point in the future. Thank you for the super chats.
moderator list has over 30 plus moderators, but if you take a closer look at the accounts, it becomes clear that most of the mods aren't even real accounts, but rather sock puppet accounts. I wish I could show you, but all of the links to the mods post history that I saved no longer work because of the fact that all of the H3 Snark mods deleted their profiles the moment Ethan announced his lawsuit against them. But I guarantee you that the lawsuit will uncover the fact that multiple of the H3 Snark mods will have to see my IP address because it's run by the same person. Even if you
and this guy did basic investigative work and found out what we got from our informant, which is that
that's wonderful.
the Snark is run by basically 4 people.
Follow up. Should I start learning Russian?
Yes. Yes. Dude, I did start to learn Russian at one point in my life, but then I gave up because it was too hard. Thank you for the super chats.
The same 4 people.
Snark mod list now, the only mod accounts left over are accounts.
By the way, imagine being like 4 people, and I guess 2 of them were primarily the most active. Look at this operation they have just to set up to harass me. They've got like 30 to 40 accounts set up in different fucking ways to hide their tracks, all in the pursuit, unpaid work, right? Or at least, maybe, I don't know, maybe it is paid.
They do it for free.
How do you spend that much time doing it?
They do it for free.
How do you spend so much time doing this for fun? And apparently one of them's in college.
Well, that's the
Oh, that's
FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah, right. Okay. You're right. Still, I feel so bad for her. Did you hear she only gets 5 hours of sleep, Nate?
That's rough, bro.
Does it get worse than that?
That were created literally less than 2 weeks ago with no activity.
Let me go back, because this is important.
If you take a look.
I mean, I just, you know, like having like a mod that just is there and just does little bits and pieces here and there or whatever. But like how, like this is just utterly deranged. How the fuck have you got that much time in your life to be fucking setting up these alts and using and posting with them and making content? Dude, it's just, bro, just absolutely wretched. Absolutely fucking wretched, pathetic, worthless, jobless behavior, unemployed behavior.
At the H3 Snark mod list now, the only mod accounts left over are accounts that were created literally less than 2 weeks ago with no activity, yet the creator of the H3 Snark subreddit thought that they deserved moderation powers. I'm not kidding. If you look at the H3 Snark mod list right now, there are literally 5 accounts that were created just 2 weeks ago with no comments or even post history, yet they have moderation roles in the H3 Snark subreddit. So how is Ethan Klein expected to have an honest conversation with the H3 Snark community when the moderation is run behind sock puppet accounts to avoid any responsibility from spreading lies against Ethan and his crew?
What allows you to do this to me? Because this isn't just a prank.
Well, okay. It depends on what the lie is. Like, this is why I say more context is needed
that's
for
wonderful.
me.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, they are neats if you know what that is.
Needs. No employment. It's like no employment or something, isn't it? I don't know the exact terminology. Basically, an adult who should be working that's sat at home all day. It's like spreading lies. Like, what do we mean? Not employed, educated, or in training. Yeah. What do we mean by lies? Do we mean that someone is making something up whole cloth, including producing false information, like a fake screenshot? Okay, well, in that circumstance, sure. What is the claim? What is the lie? Are we talking about a clip that is presented dishonestly? Are we talking about a clip that is presented with unfavorable framing? Because, I mean, I will say that I don't think any of the Snark subreddit people are in any way presenting stuff in an honest or fair way. It's just, there's got to be a line somewhere where some of that is kind of allowable to me and some of it is not acceptable. You know, like, if you created fake screenshots that implicated him or the team in some extremely negative fashion unreasonably, then yeah, I'd say that is not allowable. But if it's just, oh, this clip is Ethan saying something and I'm going to present it in a kind of mean way,
Okay, that's wonderful.
well,
But how
that
do I
should
make
be allowed.
money
I don't think
off
there's anything
depressed
wrong with
people?
that. So again,
Sultan Al Fahim
what do we
became
mean by
a member.
lies? What do we mean by lies exactly?
Okay, that's
That's important.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you.
G33K became a member.
Cheese G, thank you for the 10 gifted. That's super generous. Thank you. Appreciate that. Love to see it.
No. This goes beyond throwing bowling balls on my car. This took planning, coordination. I mean, how many weeks? Or was it months?
I bring this to YouTube because I respect the H3 snark and I believe that they're being silenced.
YouTuber
Yeah,
Adam
I
McIntyre
hope that you
claimed-
fucking...
Bro, I do not fucking understand why the fuck you would be like siding with some retarded snark subreddit, right? That is just completely self like rape behavior to fucking, oh yeah, the snark subreddit, I actually think they're being bro, these people are fucking nuts. Like, do not be siding with them, okay? Say your piece about Ethan and criticize him accordingly, but do not fucking side with the fucking snarkers. They're literally fucking crazy, deranged freaks. They're the kinds of people that if they were born in some fucking shithole Middle Eastern country, right, they'd willingly strap C4 explosives to themselves and walk into a crowded place and blow themselves up, okay? I'm not even fucking joking. That is the level of derangement that they've got. It's just that over here, that isn't the norm culturally. So instead, they set up 100 alts on a subreddit and freak out and fucking harass someone, okay? But that's the level of like deranged commitment they have to a cause that they're, contributing to or participating in.
I mean, again, what more do you need to know about the guy? He's willing to on fucking the record say he respects the H3 snark.
I will say there's an irony because I feel like our fans, when he first started popping up, really disliked Adam. Then, and those same people, I assume, then became the snark.
Yeah.
To hype these people up who will most likely turn on him the second he changes his mind or says something he doesn't like.
The reason I call him a rat is because like he used to come to our events and beg us to let him in, which we would. We would always like accommodate him, let him into our shows, come hang out, be a part of the team. He would come and show up and then it's like at one fucking opportunity to turn around and join the bandwagon for a little fucking clout. He just completely like does a 180. Like actually Ethan's the worst person in the world. And also I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason. The worst part is like a lot of this has ramifications for the crew. And it's just so unfair.
He was always like that. Bro, that guy, bro. What was it? He had an interaction or had some... Bro, the Colin Ballinger stuff, that little twink, right? He, like, milked the fuck out of that situation. It was insane. He made fucking tons of videos about it. Now, just to be very clear, I don't care about milking. Milking stuff is based. Milk away. Take a drama. Squeeze it till the juice runs dry. Not a problem with that. It's that he was trying to present it as he was engaged in some sort of righteous behavior in doing so, right? And he was watching like random offshoot fucking streams and stuff, like covering it, getting tons of views and acting like it's because it was the right thing to do and we got to really call this person out. I fucking hate that shit so bad. And I think that what Colin Ballinger stuff was like, the Colin Ballinger stuff was like, I can't remember the exact details of it. But there was some level of behavior that was wrong that she engaged in, right? Don't get me wrong. But fucking hell, dude. It was like, calm down a bit with all your fucking coverage, dude. I think you don't need to go this fucking hard at it, Milking stuff is based. She was grooming kids. I don't know if there could potentially be some grooming behavior there, I would say. But I wouldn't say that it's like she was grooming kids. To me, it was that she didn't have and she should have done, of course, but it's like she didn't have a good, strong conception of where the line is of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. And so you know, she would step over that boundary and step over that line, and she would like bring a kid on stage when it was a completely inappropriate situation to do so, you know? And then she'd have these group chats where she would just say completely unacceptable things with minors in the chat. So you could probably point to some grooming behavior that existed within that, but I don't think she was trying to like groom kids, right? I don't think it was like that. It was just a complete and utter lack of meaningful, reasonable boundaries of how you behave with fans, particularly younger fans. You know? That is how I remember it, at least. And I covered it, and I thought I was heavily critical of it. But I think that, you know, there was, as always, these narratives that went to an excess, which were beyond what was proven reasonably by the evidence that was available, you know? Well, I know Cinny Bear was worse. I think Cinny Bear was worse because Cinny Bear had direct sexual interactions. Like, Cinny Bear was eliciting sexual pleasure out of talking about her sexual interests with someone that was 14. So Colleen Ballinger didn't even get to that level. It wasn't like, from what you can see on the messages, she was like herself eliciting sexual pleasure from having these conversations. It seemed more like kind of gross out shock stuff or venting to an audience in an inappropriate way to people that are minors, something like that. You know, Cinny Bear was like getting off to it. She was talking to a 14-year-old about what she was into and getting off to it. So Cinny Bear was worse than Colleen Ballinger, I think. But, you know, in terms of impact, I think Colleen Ballinger had a bigger audience. And her recklessness and lack of boundaries and whatnot, you know, could have still caused some harm to people. I think she probably did hurt people from doing it, right? I think younger people probably, you know, there was some level of hurt caused to them from this. So maybe the hurt could have been broader or something. Of something like that, perhaps. But yeah, I think Colleen Ballinger. I don't have a problem with milking it. It's just I hate the righteousness it's presented with. Like, just be real about it. Yeah, this person's a total fucking freak, and I'm going to milk the shit out of this. Fine, not acting like you're virtuously calling out someone for the right reason, and then you're taking them down for the correct cause or something. You know? Would you play Monopoly with Jar? Sure. Set it up.
Fair. By the way, speaking of which, I just want to voice my support for Lena. The way that they have it set up is basically, if Lena were to drop out, she would lose she would have to pay back like $25,000 or something like insane. And besides that, right? Which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out. Besides that, I really... she's been working really hard. And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here, I 100% support her. I want her to fight. I want to watch her fight. She deserves to have that fight. She's trained hard. And she deserves to have her moment and to enjoy that experience, okay? So I don't want anybody judging Lena for participating in that. I support her, and I insisted to her that she continues in it. So please understand that, and don't fucking do to Olivia what. Don't you know what I mean? Like, treat anybody here like everybody on this crew is the good guy. I promise you, everybody here is the good guy, okay? That's what's happening. No, I said 25,000. People can't believe it yet. Well, I don't know exactly the terms, but I think they pay out of pocket for all their training, and then they pay them back after the fight, plus some like small purse amount that each fighter gets. So I support her. I'm gonna watch her. I'm gonna cheer her on. Am I gonna promote the event? No. But actually, the event was during our break anyway, so it's not even a fucking conundrum that I have to deal with. But I hope they raise lots of money for charity. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm here to support Lena. That's it. Anyway, go on, Adam.
claims that Ethan is unfairly copyright striking the H3 Snark subreddit and pursuing legal action in order to suppress the H3 Snark community. But that just isn't true. There is a difference between suppressing criticism and shutting down defamation. If you take a closer look at the copyright claims and specifically what the lawyer of Ethan Klein wrote.
Fun fact, the mod who made the copyright thread that Adam used in his video deleted their profile. Gee whiz. Is that worth mentioning?
I gotta be honest with you. The fact that there's still clips on the Snark subreddit that were posted. Like, for example, if you say, hey, here's a clip and contextualize it in a way that is like not favorable, right? I think that isn't copyright infringement. But I think if you post a clip and you say, hey, here's a clip, watch this and don't watch the original video so they don't get a view. I think that could, even though it's a clip, I think that you are basically shooting yourself in the foot because you are intentionally trying to create a market replacement, even if it's a clip. So, you know, it's like all you need to do is not give the little shitty, snarky comment at the end and you're probably fine, you know? So, yeah, I think that to me is the point of difference. And in fact, I was actually looking at something on Kiwi Farms about this. And the exact same point is made. I think it's like a prudent poster's guide. And it basically says like, you know, don't ever say anything about trying to take a view away from the original because that is much harder to protect under a fair use argument, you know? It is literally like, you know, red rag to a bull for getting your shit taken down if you were explicitly creating a market replacement by saying, watch this instead of the original. So, you know. And there's still clips on there. There's still clips on the subreddit of Ethan without any action seemingly taken against them. So I think it is specifically, hopefully I would say, because I don't know for sure, but clips of like, you know, oh, watch this instead of the original.
I think that's like worth mentioning that like all the people you cite are constantly erasing all their profiles. That's bizarre, don't you think, Adam? Don't you think that's bizarre, Adam? Why are they doing that?
And sometimes with sock puppets, they post like full threads on another subreddits like YouTube Drama, Moi, and they erase their account immediately. Like they posted it and they erased their account then the same moment.
I saw there was like a top post on Moi, I think it was, where the account was 0 days old.
Yep.
What huge subreddit allows brand new accounts to post shit that hits the front page?
Unless a moderator sees it being removed,
yeah,
and then accepts
like who
it
the
through.
fuck point that out in any other large subreddit where fresh brand new accounts are hitting the front page of Reddit with shit.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's fucking insane. But I'm the crazy one, according to several journalists.
About the takedowns, and it's clear that the H3 Snark subreddit never wanted to.
Yeah, but Fargo Lefty, you're completely... Dude, you are removing... Dude, this is such a dumb take. That's ridiculous. It's a clip, not the whole thing. Okay. I agree that striking clips, as they are... If you just post a clip and you say, here's a clip of this person saying this, okay? That is unreasonable to strike. It's if you were explicitly saying, watch this instead of the original. Ethan got sued for this in the past and he won. Now he's suing others for DMCA. We've come a long way. Well, it depends what the context of it is. Even if something is a clip, if you frame it in a way where you are explicitly creating a market replacement,
okay, that's wonderful.
that makes it
But
much
how do I make
harder, I
money
think, to
off
justify it being fair
You and
use.
Mr. Oreo are my fave channels to watch lately. Love the content.
Thank you for the $5 Australian. What if it's a still image? Has that happened? I mean, I would say a still image is, well, I mean, watch this frame from the original. I guess you could narrowly argue that, yes, it's still doing the same thing, but I don't think that's an issue necessarily, no. I think that's just an absurd reduction, but I would say, yeah, I don't think that's the same because it's not a video format. Like, you know, it's not the same material that's being posted. And there's probably like you could make this ridiculous, a half-second clip or something to test the principle of it. I'm talking about a clip where someone is saying, watch this instead of going to the original source, okay? Specifically, of some length. That is something where I think the reason I think it's so insane to me that someone would complain about that is, you know, you basically just need to leave that bit out. Just leave your little snarky comment out. Just don't say, watch this instead of the original. Say, here's a clip of Ethan saying this, 30 seconds, minute, whatever, and you're fucking golden. It's not about it being representative of the entire work. It's the fact that you're intentionally trying to create a market replacement, and you are trying to prevent the original work from getting a view or a support they would otherwise get with your presentation of the clip that you're showing. You literally just don't include it. Bro, if you don't want to get the fucking legal aspect of it, just don't say, watch this instead of the original. Just say your piece about it, and then I think ethically, morally, and legally, you're totally in the fucking right.
To have an honest conversation to begin with. Ethan Klein's lawyer clearly states that the posts that were taken down because the purpose of the snark post were to siphon views from the H3 podcast channel and to hurt the ad revenue. What the H3 snark moderators forgot to mention from the lawsuit thread that they created was that they have been purposely trying to hurt the ad revenue and views from the H3 podcast for months now. Remember?
Seems like an important detail that should be not missed by the most basic cursory look. Oh yeah, I've literally said it. That they are explicitly saying that the purpose of stealing the fucking views is to prevent us from getting views on our fucking owned property. You know, the content that I hire everybody here, that I pay for this building, that I invest in producing, yeah, they're stealing that. They're not reacting to it. They're explicitly stealing it. Literally written out in text on record. Yeah. You'd think that Adam or any of these pathetic journalists wouldn't have to make any weird assumptions about me, you know, like, what are we doing, guys?
Like, you know, I'm not like a massive channel, but presumably the automatic system would pick up that I've reacted to or looked at Ethan's content somewhere, and I've never received any sort of strike, and I've reacted to quite a lot of his content. So I don't think it's about the reaction. I don't even think it's about the clip. I think it's about saying, watch this instead of the original. That is the only thing you don't do, and then you're fine. The Snark subreddit I've seen has got lots of clips on there which don't have that comment and seemingly remain up.
The snark live chat feature I talked about, here's a snarker in that chat room talking about using an alternate YouTube website to watch the H3 podcast show so that the podcast doesn't receive their view. Here's two other posts where snarkers flat out talk about using
please here, let me go back. The shit that we have, by the way, is so much worse than all of this that
like, bro, what is like, you can hate the guy. You can despise the guy. You can think he's a terrible person, right? But he still deserves the view. Like, the hate watch view is still deserved, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't then make content out of it. It's just that don't say, watch this instead of the original. How do we take views away from the original? Seems completely reasonable to me.
Which is why I'm so confident that when any of you people actually see this lawsuit, even the most pathetic among you are going to have a hard time defending them. Please stop contributing views to the H3 channel. Is there any way I can watch it without...
Well, the thing is, if you don't want to contribute views, don't watch it and stop talking about it. If you, if you want to comment on it, fine, give a comment on it, but don't try and do it in a way that circumvents the, view that the channel would be getting. Like, bro, like, the other thing about it too is, on the one hand, it's like, well, from Ethan's perspective, it's not that much money. It's like a trivial amount of money, a fraction of a cent. But that then goes both ways. And it's like, well, on the other end of it, why are you so bothered about circumventing a view where you can just watch it? It doesn't make that much difference either way. And by doing it the way you're doing it, you are completely opening yourself up to legal liability, because it's very difficult to argue that you aren't just creating a market replacement if you're explicitly saying that's what you're trying to do.
Giving him views, I'm bored. Yeah, again, these are just random people. This, you know what I mean? Imagine their mods writing that.
I'm so bored and I want to hate watch. That's what the call said.
Take a walk, maybe. I don't know.
Or just, there's a lot of
Play
content on
Counter-Strike.
YouTube.
Play
Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals,
Wait.
man. How much
Wait, are you talking about
Anyway.
the fast-paced team-based hero shooter developed by
Anyway,
Eddie's Games?
I think we're done with this. I think I've got what I wanted out of that, which is mainly just the beef
Okay,
with
that's
the
wonderful.
Idubbbz editor
But how do
guy.
I make money off depressed people?
Me and my 1,200 new alts are enjoying the stream. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you. Only gay corporations care about this. Okay, dude, bro, this is so insane that people are acting like this is reasonable. There's literally nothing wrong with saying you can post clips, you can react to the content, you can do as you wish, you can comment, criticize, whatever. But what you can't do is explicitly state that you're trying to, or posting in a way that circumvents the original content getting the view. I think that's a completely reasonable and fair standard. There's nothing wrong with that. Literally nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're going to hate watch, pay the piper with your view, okay? Like, that's the way it goes. If you're going to hate watch, do it through the format of a critical commentary, or, you know, a sort of a clip free of any suggestion that you're trying to take the view away. Like, dude, this is like totally reasonable. I watermark my meme. Okay, so Fargo Lefty, you're just a total fucking moron, okay? The amount of time and effort that it takes to create a meme is trivial compared to a fucking entire podcast with a studio and a production. And even then, it's not, you can't react to me. He's not pulling a Dart Viper. He's not saying, don't react to me. He's completely fine with reacts. It's specifically taking content that he has produced and saying, right. And also, from the looks of it too, it's not even just clips. It seems like they're trying to find ways to substantively watch videos on alternatives to YouTube without watching the original. Right? Like, we're not just talking about a 30-second clip. It looks like, oh, how can I watch this video without giving him the view? Bro, that's nuts. If someone on YouTube had set up something where you could watch my entire catalogue of work without, like, supporting me, without, like, watching, without giving a view to my channel, you know, I think, yeah, I'd be well within my rights if I felt it was necessary to take action against that. Like, what the fuck, dude? That's insane. Anyway, there we go, guys. That's that. That is that. So, yes, we did dip into a bit of the Ethan content, okay? Yes. Guilty as charged.